Everyone in the courtyard thought she'd freeze. Instead, she stepped forward, calm, steady, and told a four-star general to lower his hand. No one expected what happened next. The bright afternoon sun poured over the Navy SEAL training compound, casting long, sharp shadows across the concrete. 100 elite operators stood in loose formation, their murmurs drifting like dry wind through the open grounds. And at the center of that blistering stillness stood Lieutenant Arya Hale, small in frame, steady in breath, facing a man whose ego had outgrown his rank. General Marcus Hadrick, broad-shouldered and storm-faced, lifted his hand as if swatting away an annoyance. His voice was loud enough to make two nearby sailors glance over. "When I speak, you stand down. That's an order. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing who's listening." Arya's jaw tightened. She'd spent years mastering calm under pressure. But something in the air felt wrong. Dust floated lazily in the bright light, shimmering between them like drifting embers. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't look away. "Respect is earned, sir, not demanded." A ripple cut through the SEALs. A few stepped closer. No one dared intervene. Hadrick's eyes narrowed. He took a single step toward her, then another, closing the 30-year age gap with the arrogance of a man convinced the world belonged to him. And then, in full daylight, with every eye locked on him, he lifted his hand as if to strike. Arya didn't think. She reacted. Years of muscle memory surged through her veins like lightning. His wrist snapped into her grip. The courtyard fell silent. Then came the crack. 100 SEALs stiffened. Some winced. Others whispered. A few let out quiet breaths of awe. Arya released him instantly, letting his arm fall limp at his side. Even the birds overhead seemed to pause mid-flight. She thought that would be the end of it. She was wrong. General Hadrick staggered backward, clutching his arm, fury painting his face red. "You'll answer for this," he growled. But the words crumbled under the weight of the men and women stepping forward. Chief Ramos, legendary among SEALs, soft-spoken but unshakable, broke the silence. "Sir, with all due respect, you touched one of ours. That's on you." More footsteps echoed across the ground. SEALs formed a semicircle around Arya, not as a threat, but as a wall of truth, a living statement. The air thickened with something ancient, loyalty. Still, Arya's heartbeat thudded in her throat. She hadn't meant to break anything. She hadn't meant to humiliate him. The weight of what she'd done pressed into her lungs like a stone. What if she'd gone too far? What if she'd lost control for one split second too long? The general tried to stand taller, but pain bent him. His pride refused to bow. His body had already surrendered. Across the courtyard, a medic jogged over, bag swinging, eyes wide at the sight of the gathered SEALs. He knelt beside the general, but Hadrick refused treatment at first, spitting out orders. No one followed. The medic's voice trembled with equal parts fear and duty. "Sir, your arm's broken. Let me help." For a moment, the moral tension held the whole base captive. Was Arya wrong for defending herself? Or was he wrong for believing his rank made her untouchable? Then came the shift. Captain Dyer, commander of the SEAL teams, walked in from the far steps, sunlight flashing off his insignia. Every operator straightened. Even the breeze seemed to pause. He took one look at the scene. One look at Arya, standing alone yet not alone, and nodded once. "Lieutenant Hale acted within training protocol," he said, "and within basic human dignity." A murmur spread through the courtyard. Relief, pride, justice. The general looked defeated, small, swallowed by the very daylight that had once made him appear invincible. But Arya stepped forward, surprising everyone. "Sir," she said softly, "I never wanted this. I just wanted you to stop." And in that moment, the truth became unavoidable. Strength wasn't in the breaking of an arm. It was in the steadiness of a heart that refused to strike back. Hadrick finally allowed the medic to guide him away. No applause followed. Just a quiet, collective breath. Hundreds of soldiers, recognizing the shift in power, in courage, in what respect truly meant, Because kindness doesn't vanish, it waits, and it finds its way back. And sometimes it returns in the very sunlight that once exposed the worst in someone. If this story moved you, share your thoughts below. And if you'd like more stories of courage, justice, and quiet heroes, make sure to subscribe. Your support means the world.